We're happy to be back for the last week of 2020. And I just wanted to say, hey, we're glad to be back with you every Monday at 11:30 all year long. But I wanted to take a minute and review what's happened this year in my life and in my business life, and see if any of you have had the same experience as I have had. At the end of 2019, many of my friends were saying, can't wait to put 2019 in the rearview mirror. And surprise, 2020 threw us a bigger curveball than 2019 had thrown us. So let's talk about 2020. Late in the year last year, well, a couple years ago, my son and his family transferred to Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and he decided to join our company late last year. And so we had Best Real Estate Investments had flipped 10 houses in 2019. So our goal with bringing Eric aboard was that he'd be the project manager and we would double our production. So we started buying houses so that we could double our productions. We had 4 houses at the beginning of 2020. My real estate business was growing and it was doing great. And I do these Facebook Lives just to give you guys a chance to meet some of my friends and meet some of the people that give really good advice to me. So we started the year with Tracy Beavers talking about overcoming self-doubt, because we were talking about 2020 was going to be our best year ever. What's the best thing that happened to you in 2020? I'd like to hear that in the comments. Laura Iverson was my guest, and she was talking about tips for having a dream like MLK Jr. Mary Gardner was sharing with us about owning a business with your spouse and surviving and thriving in that situation. Before we even knew that before we knew we couldn't be with our family, Shelby Joyner joined me and we talked about finding time to be with your loved ones. Now we're trying to find time that we can be with our loved ones. And Shelby is about to have her first baby. So that was a big thing. In January last year, my younger brother married his partner, and we went on a quick cruise to celebrate with them. That cruise went nowhere. So we got a big credit from Carnival, and I rebooked that trip for September. We were going to go to the Panama Canal. We continued into February, and Julie Duvall did a video with me about being the best you, and then she moved to Florida. Good for Julie. Classy Earhart shared on one of our videos, your path to purpose. And my last live video where I did it with someone in the room with me was Susan Beebe talking about home warranties. And as she left where we were broadcasting from, she said, have fun on your trip, because we were leaving on a trip in about 3 days to Ireland, Scotland, and Britain. That Wednesday night before we were leaving was the night that President Trump announced that he was closing flights in and out of the U.S. to other countries. That was probably my first realization that we were facing something more serious than what I thought. And my travel agent, Lynn Levy, called me and said, hey, did you see what just was announced by President Trump? And I said, yes, I did. And she said, what do you want to do? And I said, oh, we're going to sleep on it. And so the next morning, we always wake up early when we're headed out on trips. We packed our bags. We brought them downstairs from our 2-story house, and we started to head out in the garage. And I said, let's just pause a minute and go see what's going on TV. And what we saw was that countries all over the world were closing their doors. And we realized that we weren't going on this trip that we were so looking forward to seeing Ireland and Scotland and Britain. We had never been to these countries, and we were so excited. Well, that was the beginning of closing our doors. I haven't seen my mother or my brothers since January, when we were all together for my brother's cruise and his wedding reception. We were all together then, thankfully. I have not traveled outside the state yet. I'm hoping to do that in 2021. And many more people, though, came and shared their tips for thriving in this year. I had chosen the thing, your best year ever, for 2020, and we were determined to still have our best year. One of the things I learned about the realtoring business is, as long as you keep talking to people and calling people and working, the business is still there. I helped a doctor move to town. I helped another couple move to town that needed a home for their family, and many other people I helped that were moving despite the COVID. Natara Gage helped me update my image a year or so ago. She was one of my guests. Cora Gray was my first COVID-related live, and she's talking about staying social while social distancing. Now, tell me, do you love Zoom or do you hate Zoom? Whether you're watching live or on Memorex on video afterwards, drop a hashtag and let me know you're watching, and drop a comment and let me know if you love Zoom or you hate Zoom. I visited with Dr. Brian Murphy about still relieving your pains and improving your sports performance for the future via telemedicine. Another interesting video. While I was growing my businesses in this process, my son got his realtor license, my daughter got her realtor license, and they're both part of my team now. And Eric did a live with me about helping military personnel buy and sell homes in the area. Rachel, as she was becoming a realtor, and her husband James bought their first home in Sherwood. And so she came on live with me to share about first-time homebuyers, because she had just had that experience. I had two guests that came to talk about improving your credit scores. That was Tiffany Greenway and Yolanda Sugar Hunter. All of these videos are out on my page, and you can go back to them. They're a great resource for getting answers to things that you need. Monica Genius offered some accounting tips, and Evan Hall offered some tax tips. These are all things that I just offer because I want to be a resource that can help you. All of that to say, this next year, 2021, we're going to continue with our lives because I think that they are great value that you can add to your life, and you can go back and review when that subject touches you. Dr. Grant Dennis was one of my guests last year, and he gave us 4 unheard of health tips. Highly recommend going back and watching that one. But he also helps, especially helps people who have migraines. So if migraines run in your family, you need to reach out to Dr. Grant Dennis. Next year, I've decided that the topic of our lives will be confident, mind, body, and spirit. No matter what 2021 throws at us, we can enter confidently. The Bible talks about the confidence we have in our faith. And that's another thing that this year threw us. was that we couldn't go into the church and gather with the believers like we have. We've done it on Zoom. Just this past week, we went to the candlelight service. First time we've been in church since early March. And but confidence, body, mind, and spirit, we need to have our mind set right to not just survive these days, but to thrive in them. It's not the end of the world. We will be back together, and but we've got to get our minds right. Body, I stopped going to the gym and just stopped exercising entirely, and I ate way too much. Okay, tell me which of these three are you might have struggled with this year: your mindset, your body, or your spirit. Not gathering with believers really hurt my spirit. Not working out and eating too much really hurt my body. And my mindset took a shake once in a while because it felt like everything was against us. So that said, I have joined 10 Fitness here on JFK in North Little Rock, and you'll find me there 3 or 4 days a week. That's my commitment. And I'm going to work on getting my body back into shape. I need to lose just a few pounds, but I need to be ready for a great year, body, mind, and spirit. So that's what we're going to talk about next year. I can't go on and on about all the people that were on my show last year. Elizabeth Silverstein was a delightful guest talking about rescuing pets. Wonder Lowe gave me tips for overthinkers. I am not an overthinker, but if you are, Wonder Lowe had lots of tips for you. And so next year, if you have something you'd like to talk about the body, mind, or spirit, holler at me. I'm planning lives, but we're moving to a new day, same time. Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. is going to be our time for our lives next year. So that's when you'll find me live on my EXP Realtor page. Another change is that I took my broker class earlier, just a couple of weeks ago, at a Vivid Learning Center with Maurice Taylor. And I just got my letter to test. It's laying here on my desk. And I scheduled my test for January 8th. So I hope that in a couple of weeks, my little green box underneath my face says Judy Best, EXP Broker. And I'm still growing my team. Christy Patton and Kelly Thomas round out the team that I have with Eric Best and Rachel Best Wilcox. And so if you are a realtor and are interested in learning more about either my team or about eXp Realty, I encourage you to reach out to me too, because if you don't know the plan for eXp Realty, you owe it to yourself to at least know what's happening in that. And I would love to share that with you briefly, just so you know what you're saying no to. There's a lot of bad information out there, and it's not always true. I was trying to think what else happened this year. We have had COVID affect our family, as many of you have. My son-in-law, James and Rachel, had it early in March. We would have been overseas when they had it if we had gone on our trip. And it was a hard decision not to cancel it. How many of you have canceled travel this year that you had scheduled? Because we canceled that trip, and then we've canceled 3 cruises. We are rescheduled for June of this year, going to Spain, France, and Italy, but we still don't know if we're going to go for sure. But we're going to keep booking trips because I believe we will be able to travel again. My cousin in Springfield, she and her family all became ill, and we lost her husband just recently. That was very sad, but we're believers, so we know he's in heaven, and we know that he's better off there. and we're all pushing forward to 2021. My older brother and his family all got COVID, but they all recovered. There's been a lot of things happen that could make us question our faith. I do not question my faith. I believe in God, and I believe that He has us all under control. And I believe this is being allowed for His purposes and His glory, and that He's going to turn it around to something good. If I cannot never travel overseas again, I'll be thankful for the trips we already made to Greece and Tahiti. We have friends in Australia, New Zealand, France. We support a missionary that's in France, and many more places. And we know that this is going to be, we're going to become one world again, and we will see other people. Okay, so that's all I've got for today. I want to celebrate 2020 because many good things came out of it. I started cooking at home again, so did Roger, and we have eaten more meals at home than we have ever before. Many of you ask us, do we ever eat at home before that? Because we also realized that the restaurant tours needed our support during this period. We still would go out at least once a week and bring food in from all of our restaurant friends. And we want to continue supporting all of our restaurant friends. We're glad to be back in the gym, and we're exercising safely and cautiously, but we've got to get these bodies back in shape for what's happening next. So let me know what you're looking forward to in 2021 and what you're glad to see in the rearview mirror with 2020. So next week is our first new live Confidence, Body, Mind, and Spirit on Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. And my first guest is Kimberly Schleider. She's with Bank of England Mortgage, and she's going to be talking about ways to make a deal, ways to buy your first house. If you're thinking about 2021, maybe it's time to own your own home, she's going to be talking about that. As you know, me and my team are realtors, and we help people buy and sell houses. So if you are looking to buy or sell, give me a call. I help some people personally, but other members of my team are happy to jump in and help out too. And one of the nice things about having a team is that when right now houses go fast that are selling, it's a reason you should sell your house if you're thinking about it. But you need to get in the door when it first comes on the market. And with having a 5-member team, one of us is always available to get you into one of those houses. I don't have anything else to share with you, but we'll be back here next Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. with our first 2021 live. And we're going to be talking about confidence, body, mind, and spirit. So let me know again, which do you struggle most with, those body, mind, or spirit? Drop it in the comments. Thank you for being part of my life. I value the relationships I've built over the years, and I miss you all. I'm not a Zoom lover, so I haven't done all the Zoom meetings that other people have done, but I love people, and I love being with them. So just know that I'm praying for this to end and us to move forward. And I look forward to the day when you and I can have coffee, lunch, happy hour, dinner, or just join together in church again and hug each other's necks. Blessings on you all as we close out 2020. 2021 is coming. Let's not dread it. let's look forward to it and expect good things because God is the giver of all good things. Blessings to you all. Ciao for now.